In a fallen world, houses sometimes fall. Fires sometimes burn. Cancer sometimes kills. But his hand isn't the one that brings these things. It's the one that reaches out to those afflicted by these things. It's your hand and my hand. It's why we have the offering box back there for victims. Maybe you've already donated this week, and that's fine. But just figured it'd be wrong for us not to do something, except talk like Job's buddies. So 100% of what's given will go to the fire victims, regardless of their background or belief, but it will go with the knowledge that it's from the Christian community. It'll be via Care Outreach, who we've worked through before with rural communities struggling with drought. But rather than swoop in now while everyone else is, they'll wait until the media's lost interest and the embers die out, as they both will. First we'll follow the sitting Shiva thing, and then the practical help begins. Most likely, the money will be spent in the local community too, so it's not just the victims that benefit, but the community as well that'll be struggling because there's no one around. And hey, it may not be much, but it's something. And the reason the three friends got a serving from God was because that's what they didn't do. Something. Of course, that's only really half answering the question, to say that God's hand isn't the one that brings these things, it's the one that reaches out to those afflicted. That's true, but to that, Brian could still say, but didn't this God of yours allow the fire in the first place? And to that I can only say, well, yeah. Job chapter 1 pulls back the curtain to the unseen world operating backstage, behind the scenes, and we're let in on a conversation between God and the Satan over this guy Job. And what we see is that God did allow what happened to Job, didn't cause it, and did prevent more from happening, but he didn't make life perfect on this side of heaven for Job, and neither will he for us on this side of heaven. Doesn't mean he hasn't got a final solution. It's called heaven. We're actually going to be talking more about that next week. But does that make God cruel? No, it makes him God. And us not. As Job himself said, shall we accept good from God and not trouble? Chapter 2 verse 10, that was his answer to Brian, to his wife, who said, curse God, I'm an atheist, basically. The thing is, God allows trouble mostly because he allows us to cause it. Yeah? He allows us to make choices, including bad ones. And so we have arsonists and terrorists, journalists, all that. No, I'm kidding. But, all the... See, love doesn't take control of another person's choices. When it does, it becomes neurotic. When in a couple, one person has to control the other person's choices, that love then stops being love. It becomes neurotic, or they become robotic, And God doesn't want either. He wants us to choose to love him, not to be forced to do perfect. But with the choice for good comes the choice for bad. Should your God be blamed for that? For this broken world? No more than your mechanic should be blamed for every broken down car in the country. He could well say, or she, I don't want to be sexist, I know there are female mechanics out there, could well say, well, don't blame me. If they'd have come to me, I could have fixed them. And perhaps God could very well say the same. Where is he when tragedy strikes? He's waiting for us to come. He's with the people it strikes, and he's in the people who help. May we remember that. And may we quit worrying whether or not a good God allows bad things to happen, and instead understand that in a world where bad things do happen, we still have a good God. That's something to hang on to. That's something to write to the Daily about. A good God who won't control our choices, but who will call us to make some of our own.